All the best.
Welcome in Brussels.
Oh, great to see you. How are you?
Welcome. We are ready?
Hello. We are going to have this afternoon the Association Council. Yeah.
Let me open this meeting and welcome and my friend Lukšić, State Secretary of our collective process, the European Union, is a dynamic and ongoing process.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Minister, Mr. Commissioner. I'd like to express my satisfaction with the successfully held fifth meeting of the Stabilization and Association Council. We've had the opportunity to discuss very important issues such as relations in the framework of the Stabilization Association Agreement, as well as the strategy on the accession of Montenegro to the European Union, especially in the light of the European Commission's progress report on Montenegro for this year and for 2013. Allow me to underscore the importance of the fact that Montenegro has opened 3 more chapters at today's Intergovernmental Conference: free movement of capital, foreign security and defense policy, and financial control, by way of which Montenegro has opened the negotiating process in 12 negotiating chapters, of which 2 have been provisionally closed so far. The opening of 3 new chapters testifies to the government's full commitment to the negotiating process and to the high-quality work of our negotiating structure has made in meeting the commitments on the European agenda. And in that regard, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Member States, especially the Greek Presidency, the European Commission, and in particular Commissioner Füle and his team for all the efforts they invest to make Montenegro's accession process a success. I wish to underline that Montenegro is strongly committed to the completion of a number of other negotiating positions in order to be able to open the negotiating process in these chapters and thus continue the negotiation moment we have established so far. But without any doubt, the area of rule of law will remain in the center of our future efforts on our negotiating agenda. Following the initiation of negotiations in Chapter 23 and 24, we are looking at the consolidation of results in the context of the recent elections and further judicial reforms. I also wish to express satisfaction with the continuity of dialogue and cooperation between countries in the region of the Western Balkans, and note that Montenegro continues pursuing the policy of developing good neighbourly relations and building a more stable and safer region towards joining the European Union. Thank you.
I am pleased to note that we managed to record further important progress, I would say, in the negotiations towards Montenegro's future accession to the Union. This morning, as you know, we had the 4th meeting of the accession conference with Montenegro. As you know, the screening process has now been successfully completed. This is a big achievement. And today we opened accession negotiations on 3 more chapters, the ones dealing with free movement of capital, with foreign security and defense policy, and financial control. So this means that out of the 35 chapters of the negotiation, 12 have been opened for negotiations, 5 of them during the Greek presidency, and we are particularly proud about this, and 2 chapters out of the 12 have already been provisionally closed. So this is a very positive record, and we are going to continue at the level of the European Union our efforts that this very good pace of negotiations will continue in the future. Later this afternoon we just concluded the 5th meeting of the Stabilization and Association Council with Montenegro, taking stock of the developments so far. This meeting provided an opportunity to review Montenegro's progress in its preparations for accession, and also to consider priorities for further work within the framework of the Stabilization and Association Agreement, which is also a very helpful instrument for the negotiation process as well. So we have welcomed the progress made by Montenegro in several areas, and we encouraged Montenegro to keep up the reform momentum and to continue working on challenges and shortcomings identified in key areas during the preparation for accession, notably with regard to the very important rule of law chapter 23 and 24, which, as you know, were opened last year, as well as to developing the necessary administrative capacity that will be required in many fields. While our deliberations went into further detail and also covered a broad range of issues, including an exchange of views concerning recent developments in the Western Balkan region, I would particularly like to mention that the SAE Council, the Stabilization Association Council, welcomed the decision of Montenegro to formally align its position with the European Union position on the situation in Ukraine. Montenegro's generally excellent level of alignment with EU positions in the area of foreign, security and defense policy was also commended. Now I would like to give the floor to the Commissioner, Commissioner Füle, for an introduction.
Indeed, this has been a very intense day with Montenegro, starting with the accession conference in the morning and then with the Stabilization and Association Council in the afternoon. As it has been already noted by the Presidency, at the accession conference we opened 3 more negotiating chapters, and thus reaching the 12 chapters opened with the 2 provisional closed. Let me also recall that last month we have completed the screening for all the chapters, which is an important milestone in the accession process. Today we stressed that this good progress, and I'd like to underline that, completing different stages in opening and closing chapters, needs to be also accompanied by real progress on the ground, especially regarding the rule of law, because it cannot be limited only to the adoption of plans and strategies. It needs to be also seen, it needs to be felt by the citizens. Just look at the recent municipal elections, which were marred by a number of allegations of electoral irregularities. It goes without saying that these need to be properly investigated, because this is the only way how to strengthen the citizen trust in the electoral process. I'd like also to make a point that the new laws need to be implemented efficiently. For example, almost 1 year since the adoption of the constitutional amendments, the position of the Supreme State Prosecutor is still vacant due to a lack of broad parliamentary majority. So my call goes both to the government and to opposition to find a solution on this issue. Also, we have called repeatedly for an end to impunity for violence and threats of violence against journalists. We expect to see the concrete results soon, results that will go beyond the establishment of commission and will create a better climate for the media in Montenegro. At the same time, we welcome the participation of civil society in the negotiations working groups. We welcome very much the transparency achieved with the publication of the government's reports on the implementation of action plans for the rule of law. And as presidency, let me also welcome Montenegro's decision to align with the EU position concerning measures taken on issues related to the Ukrainian situation. And let me also specifically underline the constructive role of Montenegro and personally the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Lukšić, in playing a leading role on strengthening the cooperation of the countries involved in the stabilization and associations process. Thank you very much.
Katarina Derlja, Al Jazeera Balkans, a question for the Commissioner. You've commended the alignment of Montenegro with the EU. Can it be sort of a message to other countries that are going through negotiating process, other countries from the region, of course, a message in the sense, align with us and things will go quicker, easier? Thank you.
I think we have been able to open today a very important chapter of the common foreign policy at a very important time. I think it stipulates or confirms one of the principles that we judge and approach each of the candidate and aspirant countries based on its merit. And if there is a progress in this area, then in the credible way we move that candidate farther along the enlargement road, in this case opening the additional chapter. And yes, I would like to see this very good cooperation with Montenegro, both in the terms of regional cooperation, but also in the terms of alignment with the EU common and foreign security policy, as a good example also for other countries involved in the accession process, but also those waiting for this process to be opened. Thank you.